Archangel Michael says, "Your mother who is in heaven is desperately trying to reach you, and her last message will bring tears to your eyes." Please listen to this completely before tonight at 11 p.m., for in the quiet spaces of your heart, her voice is gently calling you home. Wrapped in the arms of the Almighty, she longs not to alarm or sadden you, but to comfort your soul in the most tender way only a mother's love could ever understand. My dear child, God has hidden something special for you in the final 30 seconds of this video. Stay with me until the very end, and your spirit will receive what your heart has been waiting for. So please watch until the end of this video. It was early in the light of the morning when I was sent, not with fire, not with thunder, but with a soft wind that carries the fragrance of roses blooming in the fields of eternity. The light that shines where she now dwells is not harsh, not cold, but warm like the sun that gently brushes across your face on a spring morning. She is surrounded by peace so deep, no words on earth could ever hold it completely, and yet, she carries a longing within that only heaven's grace could bear. Type 999 if you trust Jesus. She watches over you every day, not as a spirit lost or forgotten, but as a mother perfected in God's love, standing in the glory of Jesus Christ, shining with the joy of knowing you are still being led, still being protected, still being loved with the same fierce, undying devotion that held you when you cried as a child. Though her arms can no longer touch you, her prayers wrap around your life like a soft blanket on a cold and lonely night. In every tear you've cried when no one was watching, she has stood beside you, whispering through heaven's veil, "My child, you are not alone." Like this video and subscribe to this channel if you believe in the power of prayer. She has seen your struggles, even the ones you never speak of, the silent battles, the fear you bury under your strength, the doubts that visit when the night feels too long and hope feels just beyond your reach. She knows the weight you carry, the way you try to smile even when your heart aches with a pain no one else seems to understand. And through it all, she has been asking God to send comfort to you, asking Jesus to walk beside you with gentleness and healing, pleading with heaven's grace to fall like rain upon your weary soul. Your mother has not forgotten you, not even for a breath. In heaven, there is no time, but love remains as it was, strong and full and eternal. And the love she holds for you is deeper than before, because now she sees all things clearly, now she loves with no fear, no pride, no sorrow, just the pure truth of how much you mean to her. She sees not your failures but your faith, not your mistakes but your heart, not your past but your purpose. She sees you as God sees you, His beloved child, shaped by grace, redeemed by the mercy of Christ, walking each day through storms and sunshine, never truly alone. The struggles you've faced were never your fault. A hidden brain frequency, once buried in secret research, has been silently holding back your wealth. Now, for the first time, it is available to you, and it only takes minutes to activate. Imagine the chains of debt breaking, the doors of opportunity opening, and your life flooding with prosperity. This chance may never return. Click the link in the video description and comments below to claim it now. She wants you to know that she is not sad. She is not broken. She is not gone. She is alive in the kingdom where all tears are wiped away, where laughter rings like music, where flowers bloom with colors not yet known to earth, and where souls rejoice in the presence of our Savior, who once walked dusty roads and now rules in eternal light. But even in her joy, she holds you in her prayers, her soul reaching through the light to leave this message for you. Type 555 to receive blessings and miracles. She wants you to slow down for just a moment. To stop running from the pain and the memories, and instead, sit with her in the quiet, in the stillness where God speaks. She wants you to remember her laugh, her voice, her touch, not with sadness, but with gratitude for the time you shared. She wants you to believe that even in her absence, her love has not left your side. It moves with you, it guards you, it grows inside the choices you make to love others the way she taught you to. And more than anything, she wants you to return your heart to God, not out of fear, but because you are loved beyond measure. She has seen the way you look at the sky when you're searching for answers. She's heard your whispered questions in the dark when you wonder if she can still hear you. And the answer, child of God, is yes. She hears. She loves. She believes in you with every breath of her soul. Please don't close your heart tonight. Don't ignore the warmth you feel right now rising through your chest, the sudden sting in your eyes that you're trying not to let fall. Let it come. Let the tears fall, not in weakness, but in surrender. Because she is near, and she is speaking, not in a loud voice, but in a holy whisper only your heart can hear. And I, sent to carry her message, have only begun. Archangel Michael says, in the stillness of night, when the world becomes quiet and the weight of the day settles upon your chest, your mother in heaven sits in the light of God, her hands folded gently, her soul glowing with hope, as she whispers your name into the eternal winds. She is no longer bound by time or illness or sorrow, but she remembers every moment she held you close, every smile she saw light up your face, and every silent ache you tried to carry alone. She remembers it all, not with sadness, but with a love that has only grown stronger since she was called home. There are things she wished she could have said, moments she longed to stay for, laughter she hoped to hear just one more time. But now, resting in the heart of heaven, she sees how God has wrapped every part of your life into something sacred, even the pain, even the parts that feel forgotten. She has seen the days when you feel like you are walking through a fog, wondering if anyone truly understands how hard it is to keep going. She knows the burden of that silence, the weight of pretending to be okay when your soul is crying for rest. But she wants you to know that God has not turned his face from you, not even once. Jesus walks beside you with open arms, waiting not to judge you, but to hold you, to remind you that you are not just surviving, you are deeply, profoundly loved. She sees how tired you are, how you sometimes wake up with questions that feel too heavy to answer. And it's in those moments she stands beside Jesus and asks him, "Please hold my child a little closer today." She remembers how your eyes lit up as a child when you looked up at her with trust and joy. That image never left her. Even now, in a place where sorrow cannot reach, she treasures the memory of your laughter echoing in the corners of your childhood home, the way your little hands once reached for hers without hesitation. That same child is still within you, though grown and bruised by life, still reaching, still hoping, still worthy of the same love you once knew. Type 666 if you trust in God's grace and mercy. She sees how much you've been trying. Trying to heal, trying to make sense of what was lost, trying to forgive, trying to believe that somehow, even now, God is still good. And she wants you to hear this clearly, not as a distant thought or a passing feeling, but as the very truth heaven sings over you: you are not forgotten. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not too far gone. You are exactly where God can reach you, exactly where love can rise from the ashes of your grief and carry you forward. Your mother, who once brushed the hair from your face and whispered stories in the dark, now watches over you with eyes full of holy light. And her voice, though no longer heard with your ears, still echoes in your spirit. That tug in your chest when you miss her, that's her. That warmth that comes out of nowhere when you feel alone, that's her. That sudden memory that feels like a hug you didn't expect, that's her, reaching through God's grace to remind you that death never ended her love. She sees how much of her lives in you now. In the way you speak gently to others, in the way you stay strong even when no one sees your battle, in the way you refuse to give up even when it hurts. You are carrying her legacy in your strength and in your softness, in your courage and in your tears. She is proud of you, not because you've done everything perfectly, but because you've kept going. You've stood when it was easier to fall. You've loved when your heart was still healing. You've kept the light burning when the night felt endless. What if you could unlock a secret brain wave that top scientists discovered inside the hippocampus, the very switch that signals wealth and abundance? Hidden from the public for decades, this breakthrough can rewire your mind to attract prosperity faster than you imagined. Picture the stress of bills replaced with financial freedom and new opportunities. Every delay is a missed blessing, and those who act now are already walking into the wealth you deserve. Step forward before the door closes. Click the link in the video description and comments below to activate this ancient money wave and step into abundance today. And now she asks just one thing: that you let go of the guilt, the questions, the if-onlys. She wants you to stop wondering if she knew how much you loved her. She did. She still does. Love like that never fades, never dies, never ends. It only grows deeper in the hands of God. And she holds that love now, fully, beautifully, eternally. She wants you to forgive yourself for the moments you couldn't be strong. She wants you to be kind to yourself in the same way she would be if she could sit beside you now and hold your hand. She wants you to feel peace tonight, not the kind the world gives, but the kind that settles deep into your soul, the kind that says, "You're not alone, not now, not ever." The kind of peace that Jesus promised, the kind that lives even in grief, even in longing, even in the middle of all the unanswered questions. She wants you to let that peace in. Archangel Michael says, "The air between heaven and earth is thinner than you think, and in that invisible space, your mother continues to reach out to you, not with sorrow, but with a quiet, sacred longing that only a mother's heart could carry." Her voice, now wrapped in the gentleness of eternity, calls to your spirit like a lullaby woven through the breeze. You may not hear it with your ears, but your soul has always recognized the sound. It's the comfort that finds you when you least expect it, the stillness that softens your grief when the world feels too loud to bear. Type "I love God" to claim abundance through God's love. She stands in the presence of the Lord, no longer weighed down by the weariness of this life, no longer needing to hide her pain or hold back tears. There is only peace now, only light, only the kind of joy that cannot be touched by time or death or distance. But even there, even in a place where nothing is missing, she carries you within her, as surely as she once carried you beneath her heart. Her love was never made of flesh alone, it was always a part of her soul, and that soul remains as alive today as the breath that fills your lungs. She has seen the moments when you wondered if heaven was real, if there truly is something beyond this world where loved ones are held in the arms of God. She has seen your doubt, not with disappointment, but with compassion. Because she remembers how hard this world can be, how it can feel like prayers are whispered into emptiness, how grief can settle into your bones like winter cold. She knows you're not asking for signs because you doubt her love, but because you miss her so deeply it aches in places no one else can reach. And so she sends you these moments, small, quiet miracles meant only for you. A scent in the air that reminds you of her hands. A song that plays just when your heart needs it. A dream that feels too real to be anything but her. These are not tricks of the mind. These are not coincidences. These are the echoes of heaven, the gentle ways God allows her to say, I'm still here. I still love you. She wants you to know that the love you shared was not interrupted, it was expanded. Heaven did not take her away from you. It placed her into a clearer light, into a fullness where her love for you can now stretch across every mile and every moment. She walks in the garden of the Lord, but her prayers fall like petals at your feet, soft and constant, covering your path with unseen blessings. She prays not because she is worried, but because she knows the power of faith, and she believes in who you are becoming, even when you can't yet see it yourself. She remembers the way your eyes looked when you were afraid as a child, how you reached for her without needing words, how she would whisper, I've got you, sweetheart. I'm here. And even now, from a place where shadows cannot follow, she wants you to know those words are still true. You are not without her. You are not wandering through life without her heart near yours. She is with you when you laugh, when you cry, when you doubt, and when you hope. She walks with you through the storm because her spirit, held in God's grace, is free to love you in ways she never could before. And if there is one thing she could press upon your heart, it would be this: do not close yourself off from love because you are afraid of loss. Do not let the pain of goodbye keep you from saying yes to joy, to connection, to healing. She wants you to love again, to trust again, to let others in, not because she is gone, but because she knows that every act of love is a way she continues to live through you. She wants your heart to beat boldly, not with fear, but with faith that life is still holy, still beautiful, still a gift from God. Type 999 if you trust Jesus with all your heart. She prays that you will walk toward the light even when the path feels uncertain. She hopes you will reach out when the silence gets too loud. She asks only that you believe, not in her, not even in yourself, but in Jesus, whose arms were open even on the cross, who knows your sorrow and meets you in it, whose love is strong enough to carry both your brokenness and your healing. She stands beside him now, her hands folded over her chest, whispering your name, asking him to fill your heart with peace that no one else can give. Archangel Michael says, your mother, now wrapped in the gentle radiance of heaven, wants you to feel the truth she holds close to her soul. She has never stopped loving you, not for a single moment, not even when her final breath left this world. She longs for you to understand that what you lost in the physical has not vanished into nothingness. It has been transformed, made eternal, untouched by time, pain, or sorrow. Her love for you is now woven into the very light that surrounds you, into the stillness of the morning, into the hush that settles softly around you when the world finally falls quiet. What if a simple 7-minute sound frequency could awaken a forgotten brain signal designed to pull wealth toward you like a magnet? Backed by shocking CIA files and neuroscience, this discovery is now changing lives everywhere. Think of debts melting away, promotions arriving, and abundance flowing freely. This is the one moment that can rewrite your future, but only if you claim it now, because hesitation will only keep you chained to the same struggles. Click the link in video description and comments below to experience the hidden wealth wave and let your financial destiny shift in your favor today. There were things she didn't have time to say, not because she lacked the words, but because sometimes life moves faster than the heart can catch. But now, in a place where there is no more rushing, she wishes to speak through the silence that has stood between you for so long. She wants to tell you how proud she is, not just of what you've done, but of who you are, of how you've grown through the shadows, how you've held on even when your soul felt too tired to keep going. She sees the way your strength has been shaped not by ease, but by endurance. You have carried burdens no one else has seen, and though you may think you've faltered, she sees a kind of courage in you that heaven itself honors. She remembers the light in your eyes when you still believed the world was simple, before loss had found its way in, before grief changed the shape of your days. And yet, even now, she sees that light, maybe dimmed by sadness, but never extinguished. She wants you to understand that even in her final moments on earth, she was not afraid. Because she knew her journey was not the end, but the beginning of a love that would no longer be confined by distance or time. As she let go of her earthly pain, she felt the presence of God holding her gently, and she felt a peace so vast and deep it could only have come from Christ Himself. In that peace, she carried you with her, not in memory, but in the spirit, and that's where you remain, forever part of her, forever wrapped in her love. She has seen the tears you've cried in silence, the ones that came when no one else was around, when you let your guard down and let the grief pour through. She has felt the ache in your chest, the way you sometimes wake with a longing you can't explain. And it breaks her heart only because she wishes she could wipe away those tears with her own hands, hold you like she used to, whisper comfort into your ears. But she also knows now, in a way she never fully did before, that you are being held, not by chance, not by fate, but by the living hands of Jesus, who knows your sorrow more intimately than anyone else could. Type 1010 to affirm that God's timing is perfect. Your mother walks with Him now, and in that holy place, she lifts your name daily into the light. She doesn't pray because she's worried. Heaven is not a place of worry, but because her love for you is still alive, active, and filled with hope. She prays for your peace, for your strength, for the day when you can smile without guilt, laugh without heaviness, and breathe without feeling like something is always missing. She prays that you'll know you were never left behind. And in that prayer, she wants you to begin again, not by forgetting her, but by allowing her love to become something that moves with you, not something that holds you still. She wants you to find moments of joy without shame, to open your heart to life again, to see God in the ordinary, the soft glow of the evening light, the kind eyes of a stranger, the unexpected warmth in the middle of your day. These are not random moments. These are traces of her presence, gently left behind so you'll know she's still near. Type Amen if your soul rests in God, and share this video with 9 people of faith to welcome blessings and miracles into your journey. She knows there have been times when your faith has felt fragile, when the questions in your mind seemed louder than your prayers. But she is not disappointed. She understands the weight of those questions, and she believes you are still so close to grace, even when you feel far away. She longs for you to remember that Jesus doesn't wait for perfection. He walks beside you in the mess, in the heartbreak, in the confusion, and He never pulls away, not even when you do. You are not forgotten. You are not wandering without direction. There is a hand that guides you, and there is a mother who loves you through every step you take. Tonight, she hopes you will feel her near, not in sadness, but in warmth. And when the stars appear and the night wraps itself around you, she hopes you'll know that somewhere beyond the sky, she is smiling, not because she has left you, but because she never truly has. Archangel Michael says, "There are gentle places in your soul where your mother's presence still lives, not as a shadow of what once was, but as a steady and living light that flickers softly, even on the days when everything feels too heavy to carry. You might not always feel it clearly, but she surrounds you more often than you realize, watching not with longing, but with a hope that flows through the heart of God Himself. She is closer now than ever, no longer held back by the limits of time or space, no longer separated by distance, no longer silenced by sorrow or pain. From where she is now, she sees your life in its full beauty, not only the moments of joy and strength but also the quiet, aching spaces where you've doubted, struggled, and wondered if you were truly seen. She sees you in your most private moments, not to judge or worry, but to reach across heaven's light and speak gently to the parts of you that feel forgotten. There is no need for words, only a deep, spiritual knowing, one that only a mother can carry into eternity. She remembers the warmth of your voice, the softness of your hands when you held hers, the way your eyes looked when they searched for her across a crowded room. She holds those moments now as treasures, never letting them fade. She remembers the way you would run to her without hesitation, trusting that she would be there to catch you, to soothe you, to lift you back up when the world became too much. And now, in a way beyond human understanding, she still does all of that, but now she does it through the grace of God. Type 1111 if you believe heaven is listening. She no longer walks the earth, but her love has never stopped moving. It flows in the prayers she offers in heaven, in the quiet petitions she lifts each day to Jesus on your behalf. Her voice, though not heard through the ears, has never stopped speaking. She speaks in your dreams, in your quiet thoughts, in the stillness that suddenly brings peace when you expected to find only pain. She speaks through the moments when your heart softens without reason, when a memory arrives uninvited but somehow brings comfort instead of tears. She wishes she could take from you every ache, every question, every moment when you felt like you had to be strong alone. She never wanted you to carry that weight without help. And now, though she cannot physically hold you, she wants more than anything for you to know that God is holding you both, and in His arms, nothing is truly lost. She wants you to stop waiting to feel worthy of joy. She wants you to stop delaying your healing, waiting for some kind of sign that it's okay to begin again. That sign is already here. It's her love, unbroken, surrounding you like light through a stained glass window. She has seen how you reach for purpose, how you try to make sense of things that seem senseless. And she wishes she could explain it all to you, to tell you why things happened the way they did, to wrap her arms around your confusion and simply say, "It's okay now." But instead, she entrusts you to the one who does understand. She entrusts you to Christ, who walks beside you even when you feel forgotten, who whispers to your soul even when your prayers feel empty. She wants you to lean into that love, because in doing so, you are also leaning into her. She's seen how much you've grown, not just in age or in responsibility, but in quiet, invisible ways, how your heart has learned to endure, how your spirit has learned to listen more carefully, how your compassion has deepened because you've known grief and still chosen love. She sees you forgiving people who may never understand what that cost you. She sees you showing up for others even when your own heart feels tired. And in all these things, she rejoices, not because you're perfect, but because you are living proof of how God can turn even sorrow into something sacred. What if the missing piece to financial success wasn't luck, but a hidden frequency inside your brain waiting to be switched on? Once activated, this ancient signal unleashes waves of prosperity, opening doors to opportunities you never thought possible. From sudden windfalls to long-awaited breakthroughs, it's transforming lives daily. Want to see how? Click the link in the video description and comments below to tap into the Money Magnet brain wave and begin your journey today. Others are already awakening this hidden signal and watching their lives transform. Do not be the one left behind while abundance passes you by. Her greatest longing is not for you to live in the past or to carry the weight of her absence. Her longing is that you live with your heart open, to grace, to faith, to love that heals. She wants you to remember that the kind of love she gave you didn't end, because real love never dies. It changes, it moves, it grows in places we cannot see. And she wants you to carry that love into the world, not as something you've lost, but as something you've been given to pass on. Let tonight be the night you let your heart remember without fear. Let it be the night you sit in stillness and know, with your whole being, that she is with you. Let it be the night you speak her name not in sadness, but with a smile. Because she hears you. She sees you. And in the presence of Christ, she is holding your name like a sacred song, never forgotten, always loved. Archangel Michael says, "There is something holy about the way your mother still surrounds you, even though you cannot see her face or hold her hand. The love she poured into you during her time on earth was never meant to stay behind. It was planted deep within your soul like a seed, and even in the quietest seasons of your life, that love has continued to bloom. Sometimes you may not recognize it for what it is, but it shows up in the way you care for others, in the moments you extend kindness without expecting anything back, in the gentle strength that rises in you when someone you love needs comfort." Type 1212 if you know God is guiding your steps. From her place in heaven, she watches you not with sorrow, but with peace, knowing that God's hand has never left you. She sees you with clarity now, beyond the layers of fear, pain, and confusion that this world often lays upon your shoulders. She sees the heart she always knew you had, the one that still seeks truth, still craves goodness, still longs for something more than what the world can offer. And in that heart, she sees her love living on, growing stronger with each passing day. She doesn't want you to live in the ache of what's missing. She knows how often you've carried the weight of silence, how often you've replayed old memories with both comfort and grief tangled together. She knows you sometimes feel like you're still trying to find her, as if maybe, just maybe, she might somehow walk through the door again, or show up in a dream so vivid that waking feels like a loss all over again. She knows because she was once part of this world too, and she remembers what it feels like to long for someone you love. But she also knows now what she didn't fully see before, that love is not limited by flesh and blood, by years or distance or final goodbyes. Love, when placed in the hands of God, becomes something eternal, something that no pain or loss can touch. And her love for you has not faded, it has only become more pure, more complete, more powerful than anything that ever passed between you on earth. She remembers your first moments, your laughter as a child, your tears when you were afraid, the way you looked at her for comfort when the world felt too big. And now, she looks at you through the eyes of heaven and sees not just her child, but a soul deeply treasured by God. She sees how much you've overcome, how hard you fought to keep your heart open in a world that often tries to make people hard and closed. She sees how you've continued to love, even when it hurt, and how you've continued to hope, even when it felt like hope had nothing left to give. And she wants you to know that you don't have to prove anything, not to her, not to God, not to anyone. You don't have to earn her presence, or his. They are already with you, always. She doesn't want your heart to be weighed down by guilt or regret. She doesn't want you to look back and wonder if you did enough or said enough or loved enough. Because in the light of heaven, she now sees the truth that escapes us while we're here, that love was always enough. That your love for her, in all its imperfect, honest ways, was everything she ever needed. She wants you to let yourself be comforted. She wants you to know it's okay to feel peace, even while you still miss her. It's okay to smile at the memory of her voice, to laugh at something she once said, to feel joy in the middle of your grief. That joy is not a betrayal. It's a blessing. It's a sign that her love still lives inside you, that what she gave you wasn't temporary, it was eternal. She has asked the Lord to bring you rest. Not just the kind of rest that comes from sleep, but the kind that touches your soul, the kind that settles in your bones and reminds you that you are safe, that you are held, that you are not expected to carry this life alone. She wants you to walk gently with yourself, to stop measuring your worth by your pain, and to start trusting that even the broken parts of your journey are being held together by God's mercy. Type 1313 to affirm strength through the Lord. She wants you to remember that heaven is not far. It is near. It is here in the quiet moments, in the whisper of a breeze, in the stillness that settles in your spirit when you let yourself believe that maybe, just maybe, she's closer than you thought. And she is. Every time you love, every time you forgive, every time you choose kindness when it's hard, that is her. That is God through her, reminding you that death is not the end, and love never leaves. Archangel Michael says, "There is a place in the heart where grief and love live side by side, and in that sacred space, your mother's voice continues to echo, not through sound, but through the quiet reminders that you are not walking this life alone. Though her hands can no longer touch yours, her love holds you still, gently, faithfully, through every moment you've thought you were forgotten. She has been watching, waiting, and whispering softly to your soul, hoping that you would pause just long enough to feel her near again. She wants you to remember who you were before the pain settled in, before the loss, before the silence, before the nights that felt too long to bear. She remembers that version of you clearly. She remembers the way you danced through the world with light in your eyes and the way your laughter came easily. But more than that, she sees who you are now, and she does not look upon you with sadness. She sees the beauty in the way you've grown through what tried to break you. She sees the strength it takes to keep waking up, to keep going, to keep believing in something more, even on days when you feel like you've lost your way. From heaven, she does not see your life through the lens of loss, but through the lens of God's grace. She sees how even the hardest parts of your story have been woven into something meaningful. She sees how your heart, though bruised, still beats with compassion, still reaches for love, still hopes for something good to come. And in every one of those moments, she is right beside you, praying over you, cheering for you, asking the Lord to remind you of your worth when you've forgotten it yourself. She knows there have been days when your faith has felt thin, like a thread worn bare from holding too much weight. She knows there have been times when you've wondered if God really hears, if heaven really listens. And she wants you to know with all the certainty her soul can carry, yes, He hears. Yes, heaven listens. And yes, her love is part of that answer, part of that presence, part of that constant, unseen grace that meets you exactly where you are. She has not missed a single moment. When you whispered her name in prayer, when you looked at the sky with tears in your eyes, when you closed your door and let yourself break, she was there. Not as a memory, but as a living soul, full of light and love, held in the hands of the one who has never once let go of either of you. Her presence is not just comfort. It is part of a greater promise, a reminder that death does not have the final word, that love anchored in Christ lives on forever. She longs for you to begin again, not from the beginning, but from right where you are, with everything you've carried and everything you've learned. She wants you to start walking with your heart open, not just to the world, but to yourself, to the parts of you that still need healing, to the places that still feel abandoned. Because you are not abandoned. You are not broken beyond repair. You are a child of God, still held, still chosen, still capable of a life full of meaning, full of beauty, full of light. Type 1414 if you believe in divine protection. What if you discovered a tiny, walnut-sized brain region holds the secret to endless wealth and success? Recently uncovered by groundbreaking research and once buried in classified files, this frequency is now available to anyone ready to listen. Imagine replacing worry and struggle with a life of financial ease and freedom. Interested? Click the link in video description and comments below to unleash this hidden brainwave and start attracting wealth right now. You have been guided to this message for a reason, and if you turn away, the chance may not return. This is your time to step in. She wants you to believe in that again, not because she's asking you to forget her, but because she's asking you to live in a way that honors how deeply you were loved. She wants you to create, to laugh, to rest, to love others in ways that echo the love she gave you. She wants your life to shine, not in spite of the pain, but because of the way God can transform it into something sacred. Let tonight be a night of quiet surrender. Let it be a moment where you stop trying to hold everything together. Let it be the night you allow your heart to rest in the truth that she is with you, and so is God. You don't have to search for her in the past. You don't have to chase signs or wonder if she knows how much you miss her. She knows. She always has. Archangel Michael says, she remembers the sound of your voice, not just the words, but the way your tone softened when you were speaking from the heart. She remembers the way your eyes lit up when you were excited, and the way they dimmed when life became too much. She remembers it all, not as moments that faded away, but as pieces of you that live within her still. And from her place in heaven, she carries those memories like sacred treasures, holding them with care, guarding them with a love that time cannot touch. She knows how much of her you carry, even when you don't realize it. The way you offer help without being asked. The way your compassion stretches toward others even when your own heart is tired. The way you notice the small things, the flicker of pain behind a smile, the quiet tears someone tries to hide. These are not things you learned alone. They are pieces of her, living in you, continuing through you, shaped by God's own hands. She has watched you on the days you felt too tired to keep trying, when you wanted to give up, when you whispered prayers you weren't sure anyone heard. And in those moments, she has stood beside Jesus and lifted your name into the light, not out of fear, but out of love. She prays for strength to find you in unexpected ways. She asks for comfort to wrap itself around you when you think no one sees your pain. She hopes you know that you don't have to walk through this life proving yourself to anyone. From where she is, she sees the beauty of your soul as it truly is. Not the version that the world demands. Not the version shaped by worry or comparison or doubt. But the soul God created, full of light, full of promise, full of a quiet resilience that even grief couldn't erase. She wants you to stop running from the parts of yourself that feel too broken. She wants you to stop hiding the parts that still hurt. Because it's in those very places that God's love wants to settle. It's in those places that healing begins. She wishes she could reach across the distance and whisper just once more, I'm here, my child. I've never left. And the truth is, she does. Just not in the way you remember. She speaks now through the language of heaven, through stillness, through warmth, through the gentle nudge in your spirit that reminds you to keep going. And when you feel that peace wash over you for no clear reason, that's not nothing. That's her. That's God, through her, wrapping you in something eternal. Type 1515 to receive peace in your soul today. She doesn't want you to wait for a perfect life before you allow yourself to feel joy again. She doesn't want you to keep holding your breath, waiting for all the pieces to make sense. She knows now what you can't yet see, there is meaning even in the mess, even in the moments you thought were wasted. Nothing you've walked through has been lost. Nothing you've felt has been ignored. God has gathered it all. And He is building something beautiful through your story, even in the places you thought were too painful to return to. She is not asking you to forget her, nor does she want you to stay anchored in sorrow. She hopes you'll carry her forward by living with softness, with hope, with the kind of love that takes courage. She hopes you'll forgive yourself for the things you didn't say or do. She hopes you'll believe that she left knowing your love was always enough, even if you couldn't put it into words. She wants you to trust that she knew your heart, just as she still does now. Let tonight be the moment you stop searching for a sign that you are loved. Let it be the moment you accept that you already are, completely, endlessly, unconditionally. By her. By God. By the one who gave you breath and never stopped calling your name, even when you stopped listening. Let this be your quiet turning back toward peace. Archangel Michael says, "She has watched you grow through the seasons of your life, not just in age, but in spirit, in the silent, unseen places where God does His most gentle work. From heaven, your mother has witnessed the quiet ways you've kept moving forward, even when your heart felt too heavy to carry. She has seen how you've kept loving, even with grief clinging to your soul. And she sees now what you often forget, that you are stronger than you know, and softer than you admit, and more deeply loved than you can fully grasp. There is something beautiful in the way you keep showing up to life, even after it has taken so much from you. She knows the ache that lingers in your chest, the one that doesn't always go away, the one that reminds you something is missing. She knows how you smile when you don't feel like it, how you keep going when no one else knows how tired you are. She sees all of it. And more than anything, she wants you to stop carrying the weight of your sorrow alone. She is not watching you from a distance, and she is not bound by the limits of time or space. In the presence of God, she moves freely, her soul full of love, her prayers always rising. And her prayers are always for you. She speaks your name with a gentleness that can only come from heaven. She lifts your heart into the hands of Christ, not with worry, but with complete trust. She knows that God has you. She knows that His love is holding the parts of you that feel like they are still breaking. Your tears do not fall unnoticed. Your pain has never been invisible. She sees the moments when you remember her and it catches you off guard, the scent that reminds you of her, the way her favorite song finds you at just the right time, the warmth that fills the room when you suddenly feel less alone. These are not accidents. These are the whispers of a soul that still loves, still longs to comfort, still stands near in a way that only God could allow. Type Amen if you surrender fully to God's will. There is no sorrow in heaven, but there is memory. And your mother remembers everything good, everything holy, everything beautiful about her life with you. She does not remember with regret. She remembers with gratitude. She does not dwell on the things she missed. She dwells in the joy of what she had, and what still continues, because love like this, love born in God, does not end with a final breath. It carries on in new ways, softer but deeper, quieter but clearer. She wants you to believe in joy again, not the kind that demands perfection, but the kind that lives in the small moments, the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the laughter shared with someone you love, the peace that finds you in prayer. She wants you to stop waiting for life to feel easy before you let yourself feel alive. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to pretend you're okay when you're not. All she asks is that you let yourself be human, and let God meet you in that place, exactly as you are. She doesn't want you to fear what's ahead. The future is not something to dread. It is something that is being prepared, gently, by hands far more loving and wise than yours or hers. She has seen what waits for you, not just one day in eternity, but here, in the days still unfolding. There is more light coming. There is healing that hasn't yet arrived, grace that hasn't yet revealed itself, laughter that hasn't yet reached your lips. She wants you to believe in that again, even if it starts with the smallest of hopes. And if you feel tired, if you feel lost, if you feel like you have nothing left to give, she wants you to rest. Not just physically, but spiritually. She wants you to lay your burdens down and trust that God has not forgotten you. He never has. And neither has she. Every breath you take is known to heaven. Every beat of your heart is felt by the one who created you. Every step you make is followed by footsteps that you cannot see, but that are there all the same. Tonight, let yourself feel her love, not in the ache of missing her, but in the peace of knowing she's still with you. Let that love settle into the corners of your spirit that have been carrying too much for too long. Let it soften the walls you've built to protect yourself. Let it remind you that you are never alone, not for a single moment, not for a single breath. Archangel Michael says, "She never imagined how deeply your soul would carry her memory, how your heart would still reach for her long after she stepped beyond the veil of this life. But now, with her spirit resting in the warmth and stillness of God's eternal presence, she sees it all, the quiet moments when you close your eyes just to feel her close, the days when her absence sits heavy in your chest like a stone, and the way you continue to move forward, even though a part of you still aches in silence. She is proud of you in ways that words can't hold. Not because of what you've accomplished or how well you've managed to carry your pain, but because you have kept your heart open, even when grief tried to close it. You have continued to love. You have continued to hope. And in that hope, she sees something holy, something that reflects the very nature of God Himself, who brings life from loss, and light from even the darkest nights. What if I told you financial freedom is not about working harder, but activating a dormant brain signal designed to draw abundance directly to you? Neuroscience proves this sound wave unlocks prosperity faster than any method known before. From unexpected cash to life-changing success, it's already helping thousands. Imagine looking back tomorrow wishing you had acted today. Do not let regret replace the miracle that is calling you right now. Click the link in the video description and comments below to turn on the ancient money wave and create the life you've always dreamed of today. Type 1717 to affirm your life is in God's hands. She remembers everything you were too young to recall, every late-night moment spent watching you sleep, praying over your tiny frame, whispering promises into the quiet. She remembers the laughter, the struggles, the prayers she prayed when you were hurting, and the ones she said when she didn't know how to help. All of it is part of her love for you, and none of it has been forgotten. Heaven holds memory in a different way. Here, on earth, memories sometimes bring pain, but where she is now, memories bring only gratitude, and joy, and an unshakable desire to see you whole. There have been days when the weight of your sorrow has made you feel separate from God, distant and unseen. She knows that feeling. She once wrestled with it too.